I welcome my select viewers to my 108th video of my YouTube channel, Writer Sandhanam Speaks. Last time I had put out a video on the sage U.G. Krishnamurti. Today I am going to speak about a sage-like personality, Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam, the 11th President of India, who was conferred the Bharat Ratna Award. Born on 15th October 1931 at the famous pilgrim center Rameshwaram, in a very humble family with a financial constraint, he rose to the highest office of the President of India by his honesty and sincerity. And he ultimately passed away at Shillong on 27th July 2015, that is today, while lecturing to the students whose darling he was. Being a non-political personality, how he attained this highest post in a politically surcharged atmosphere of this country is a subject for folklore. Much has been written about him and his times. I have no more details to add to it, excepting recalling some incidents with which I was connected with Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam. I hail from an equally famous place called Madurai, which is nearer to Rameshwaram. When I heard Dr. Abdul Kalam became the President of India, a fellow citizen and my neighbor, my joy knew no bounds. Being a very brilliant engineer in his aerospace engineering department, he rose up in the ladder and ended up as a scientific advisor to the then Prime Minister of India, Mr. Vajpayee. He attained this post by his sheer hard work and intelligence, no doubt about it. During 1995 or so, I was working as correspondent All India Radio Madurai. When Dr. Abdul Kalam came, we all joined together and interviewed him. For his high post that he occupied, he looked very ordinary, but there was always a bonhomie and affability about him. Perhaps that could have caught the eye of equally affable Prime Minister Vajpayee and helped him to become the President of India. Dr. Kalam is a multifaceted personality. He is a literator, poet, philosopher, interested in spirituality. He could play on veena and a vegetarian to boot. Very kind at heart. He sent missiles like Prithvi and Agni to warn his enemies, beware, we are a peaceful country and we have the right to defend our country. He was loved by everybody across the religion, across the language, across the region. He once told, people use religion, great people use religion to make friendship, whereas little people make religion to fight against. I was later on transferred as editor All India Radio New Delhi, and after that I became the editor of Publications Division, a wing of INB Ministry, where I translated the world famous book, The Gospel of Buddha, by Paul Karras. It was titled in Tamil as Buddharin Punidavak. I was very eager to present this book to the President of India at that time, but that was not to be. I was transferred again back to Bangalore and joined the Press Information Bureau. When I expressed my desire to my boss, Mr. Frank Norona, that I should present this book, The Gospel of Buddha, to the President whenever he visited, he sent a fax message to Rashtrapati Bhavan, and with no delay, a reply came from the Rashtrapati Bhavan. The President is pleased to receive the book. So at the appointed time, in the HIL airport, Bangalore, we were almost 10 people in the small room. When President came, we stood up He asked us to sit down, but he was standing. He went on around the people, listened to their grievances, and spoke a word or two with all kindness. And when our turn came, we presented this book to Dr. Kalam. I had actually autographed that book to the President of India. He received it with all reverence, leafed through some pages, and he told me, I will read this book. And I also told him this is the not only one of the authentic books on Buddha, but this is the first translation into Tamil. After that, my daughter's marriage was fixed. My daughter Meenakshi's marriage was fixed, and I sent the invitation with a letter quoting Buddha on compassion. President is dealing with mercy petitions. So this could have been very useful to him, I thought. To my great surprise, a letter came from the President wishing my daughter all happiness on her wedding. I have framed it. Later on also, encouraged by this letter, I wrote another letter enclosing my poems and my short stories. Through his PA, he responded and appreciated my literary works. My connection with the President didn't stop with that. After retirement, he came to Bangalore to inaugurate a medical building of the hospital. He was walking to the stage. There were people lined up, and one of them gave a bouquet to the President. And I was also standing along with him. I wished the President, of course, telling my name. He turned and he returned the bouquet to me with a smile of Buddha on his face. Today being the Remembrance Day, I have written a small poem. I am going to share this with the viewers. The topic is Dr. Kalam is no more. When comes such another? Some are born great, some achieve greatness, some have greatness thrust upon them. Quotation from William Shakespeare. Did Shakespeare the poet foresee Dr. Kalam the President when he wrote the second statement? Born to parents common, Dr. Kalam became a son uncommon, achieving extraordinary feat in the field of shooting rocket. He became India's scientific pride, propelling the missile into the sky wide. Inspired by his native sea birds of Rameshwaram, Dr. Kalam's rocket outflew all of them. Behold the birds. They do not hoard. They earn their daily bread. The birds conveyed to him the words of Jesus. Dr. Kalam thus earned his bread with no desire to possess. Days and nights engrossed in his work, energized by honesty, his password was sincerity. Ultimately, his rocket propelled him to the throne, a worthy son to wear the coveted crown. Dr. Kalam became the darling of students and masses, resembling the Mughal gardens' ever-smiling roses. When he descended from the nation's palace, the Rajarishi's handy suitcase contained only his dress. The other box contained the books of the wise. My gifted Tamil book on Buddha must be in that case. Dr. Abdul Kalam, the people's leader, is no more. When comes such another? Though it is a Caesar for Shakespeare, it is Dr. Kalam for me. Oh, sure. Thank you, Dr. Kalam. May your soul rest in peace. Thank you.